Welcome back, everyone. This is Sergio Betts, and welcome to Season 2 of Margins and Moments, now called Beyond the Box Score.
This season, we're going deeper than wins and losses, deeper than highlights and stats, and really looking at what life is actually like around UCLA women's basketball behind the scenes.
Tonight, I want to talk about something fans don't always see: the real daily life of these players. The balance between school, training, travel, recovery, pressure, and still trying to live something close to a normal college life in Westwood. Because when you watch UCLA win by a big margin or see highlights online, it looks easy. But nothing about this life is easy. A typical day for a UCLA women's basketball player usually starts before most students are even awake. Early lifts, conditioning sessions, treatment work, and film sessions all come before classes even begin. And people forget these players are not just athletes. They are UCLA students first. That means real academic pressure, assignments, exams, group projects, and expectations that don't disappear just because it's basketball season. Miss Gabriela Jaques dividieron le floor at night durante Aremo, pero earlier that day, she may have been in lecture of inició no coursework before heading straight to practice. And there entrava weeks it becomes even harder. Players are studying on flights, doing assignments in hotel rooms, and preparing for games at the same time. That's the real student-athlete reality that fans rarely see. Then you add the basketball workload itself. Practices at UCLA aren't casual. Everything is structured and detailed. Defensive rotations, offensive spacing, timing, communication, and execution all matter. Players spend hours repeating situations so that in games, things look natural. Lauren Betts doesn't just show up and dominate games automatically. Every night, she's facing double teams, physical defenders, and constant contact, and that takes preparation and recovery. Film sessions matter, recovery sessions matter, nutrition matters, and every player has to understand and master their role. Darts controlling pace, wings spacing the floor, bigs protecting the paint, everyone making the right read, because every mistake shows up later in film review. When UCLA executes smoothly in games, it's because of countless hours behind the scenes that nobody sees. Travel adds another layer, especially now with conference travel stretching across the country. Flights get longer, time zones change, sleep schedules get disrupted, and arenas become more hostile. Teams land late, wake up early for shoot-arounds, and still have to perform at a high level that same night. Energy management becomes critical. Veterans understand how to handle those situations, but younger players have to adjust quickly, because conference games don't slow down for anyone. Every opponent is prepared, and every game matters, so maintaining composure and structure becomes just as important as talent. At the same time, these players are still college students living in Westwood. Campus life is happening around them. Students going out, grabbing food, enjoying free time, and UCLA players try to experience parts of that too. Maybe it's grabbing a late meal after practice, or catching up with friends between classes, but discipline is always there, because the next morning comes fast, and training starts again. Balancing athlete responsibilities with normal student life is a constant challenge, and not every athlete handles it easily. It takes maturity and structure to maintain that balance through a long season. Looking at this season so far, UCLA's performance shows how much discipline and preparation matter. Whether it's Lauren Betts dominando inside, Kiki Rice controlling tempo, Gabriela Jaques bringing toughness and energía, Jana Knitkens stretching the floor, Carlisa Legel Walker keeping posesiones organizadas, or the bench stepping up when rotations change, this team continues to show that success comes from shared responsibility. UCLA doesn't rely on one player or one moment. Different players carry stretches of games, and that depth comes from everyone buying into the same system and trusting each other on the floor. And that system isn't just about scoring points. Defense, communication, spacing, recovery, and execution matter just as much. Watch how often UCLA turns defensive stops into transition offense, or forces opponents into uncomfortable shots late in the shot clock. Those details reflect preparation and discipline more than talent alone. When coaches talk about habits, this is what they mean. Small things repeated consistently until they become automatic in big moments. Another reality players deal with is mental pressure. Social media reactions, rankings, tournament projections, and constant comparisons can become noise if you let them. But this team has done a strong job staying focused on daily improvement instead of outside opinions. Wins don't make them overconfident, and mistakes don't seem to shake them for long. That emotional steadiness shows in how they handle runs during games. Even when opponents try to build momentum, UCLA usually responds with structure rather than panic, and that's something championship-level teams learn over time. What fans sometimes forget is how young many players still are while carrying national expectations. They're still students growing into leadership roles while representing one of the most recognizable programs in college basketball. Balancing friendships, academics, personal growth, and athletic pressure at this level isn't easy. Yet when the ball goes up, they're expected to perform like veterans. Seeing how this group supports each other through that process has been one of the most impressive partes de following them this season. As the season progresses y March approaches, daily routines become even more important. Recovery sessions, film study, and mental preparation start to matter just as much as game strategy. Every possession begins to feel heavier because possession stakes get closer, and teams that survive those moments are usually the ones who stayed disciplined long before tournament pressure arrived. From everything we've seen so far, UCLA looks like a team preparing for that reality the right way. So when you watch UCLA women's basketball take the floor next time, remember you're not just watching talent, you're watching the result of hours of unseen work, coordination, and commitment happening behind the scenes. And as this season continues, it'll be fascinating to see how this group keeps evolving as postseason pressure builds. From Westwood to road arenas, and eventually tournament play, the story of this team isn't just about where they finish, it's about how they've built identity and control along the way. And if the season so far has shown anything, it's that UCLA isn't just winning games, they're building habits that travel with them wherever the schedule takes them next. And that's today's real look at daily life around UCLA women's basketball. Not just the moments fans celebrate, but the work that makes those moments possible. I'm Sergio Betts. This is Beyond the Box Score, and I'll see you next episode.